morning.
A few years ago, I started a journey. Via plane, train, and automobile, I set out to visit all 50 states. Now it's time to check out the 17 ones I had already visited prior to starting my quest. Welcome to my 50 before 50 adventure part 2, the earlier 17. Warning, I have an accent. Sometimes it may be hard to understand what I'm saying. Occasional grammatical mistakes may be heard or read. Viewer discretion is advised. Early morning in Los Angeles. Way too early. Here we go. Yes, I had a long flight ahead of me. Over 5 hours to be precise, and 3,000 miles before I reached my destination. And after a quick car rental, I was ready to visit the tiniest state of them all. My first destination was the city of Newport, more specifically its coast. So this very tiny state, the tiniest of them all, is also known as the ocean state. So what a better way to kick it off than on the ocean. Known as the sailing capital of the world, Newport is located on the island of Aquidneck, though the actual state of Rhode Island is not an island at all. Its nickname of the ocean state comes from its extensive and beautiful coastline. Over 400 miles along the Atlantic, featuring gorgeous homes full of history, like this one, owned by Jackie Kennedy's family and where she held her wedding reception to JFK. Or this one, which takes up the whole surface of a tiny rocky island and is designed to withstand hurricanes, which are not unusual in the area. The Newport Bridge, also known as the Claiborne Pell Bridge, connects Newport with the city of Jamestown, which is also located on an island and features equally beautiful architecture. Rhode Island is 48 miles long and 37 miles wide, which adds to barely over 1,000 square miles, which means that all of its inhabitants live within a 30-minute drive off the sea at most. But don't be fooled. Despite its size, this is the second most densely populated state in the whole nation, ranking only after New Jersey. The Sightsailing of Newport tour, mimosas in hand, sails for over an hour of the Narragansett Bay, showing you these sights and others, like the Fort Adams State Park, now home to the Rhode Island Jazz Festival and the Rhode Island Folk Festival, with its tour guides sharing plenty of interesting information and stories. Plus, then again, the mimosas. Hands down, the best kickoff for my visit to the ocean state. Don't you love it when it's a Monday and it feels like a Sunday? Back on land, and time to show you Bowen's Wharf, our departure point and a prime oceanfront destination, not just for sailing, but also bursting with tourists, galleries, shops, cafes, and restaurants. And speaking of which, perfect timing for a lunch break and for remembering my first visit to this state. So, as you know, I have been to Rhode Island before. It's one of my earlier 17. And with, I would say, most of my earlier 17, I was here for work. And it was a long time ago. 20 years or something like that. Well, it had actually been 16. So anyway, I only remember that I had a great time. And the place where we're going to go next, I've already been there. But again, 20 years ago. So fingers crossed this time is as good as the first one. Or even better. So after a delicious seafood lunch break, and a quick shout out to everybody with an accent just like me, tricky words when you have English as a second language. I was ready to revisit the place of my fondest memory of this state. After the Civil War, part of the country blossomed with prosperity and affluence, and Rhode Island was at the center of what came to be known as the Gilded Age. Proof to that are the many lavish residences known as the Newport Mansions, most of which were actually summer cottages for the wealthiest of American families, just like the Vanderbilts, who owned the most famous of them all. First of these mansions, the most visited one, the Breakers. I've been here before, and I don't mind seeing it again. You're about to see why. Taking its name from the ocean waves that break only a few feet away from its gates, the Breakers was at the time of its completion the largest and fanciest home in the area. But forget about its impressive size, its 70 rooms and its 5 stories. This mansion is exquisitely designed, a true wonder in terms of looks, materials, details, comfort, and of course, state-of-the-art commodities for its time. Electricity included. The house is mostly built out of steel, brick, and limestone in a successful attempt by the Vanderbilts to protect it from fires, which is how the previous property on this side had been destroyed.
Reminds you of anything? We've been at the Vanderbilt's home before, North Carolina. They're creature. It's good.
And at the same time Biltmore was being built by George Washington Vanderbilt II, the Breakers was being built by his older brother, Cornelius Vanderbilt II, who was allegedly the favorite grandson to the family's patriarch, the one and only Cornelius Vanderbilt. The tour takes you through such areas as the magnificent Grey Hall, the stunning billiard room, the glamorous music room, the equally exquisite library, one of the many kitchens, and many of the upstairs bedrooms and bathrooms where part of the family lived until not that long ago. Can you only imagine? And last but not least, there's the gardens, which overlook the Atlantic Ocean and have this magnificent piece of architecture as their backdrop. I could have stayed there all day long, but I ended up being escorted out as I was the last one left, and they really needed to close. Last one to leave. They escorted me out. Oh well. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Mel.
But there's way more to see, though directions were a little confusing. Anyway, as I was saying, the Breakers is only one of the many mansions to be found along the Cliff Walk, a 3.5-mile-long corridor by the ocean, which features different properties, one more gorgeous than the other. I could swear at the picture here. This is the next one. This is the one I picked. The thing is, when I was here, it was pouring. It was pouring. I remember that. And I didn't have the right clothing. But yeah, I ended up soaking wet and quite cold. But I enjoyed every minute. And again, it's been like a lifetime and a half, so do over, right? Thankfully this time, weather was on my side. And what do you know? So was my outfit. Sort of. I'm wearing the right shoes. Yay. Okay, not the perfect ones, but at least good ones. That helped me conquer the rugged terrain at the end of the cliff walk. Hi. And got me all the way back to one of the first structures, the renowned Salve Regina University, which took possession of this property after taxes made it impossible for its owners to keep, as it happened to quite a few of them. Okay, time to head back and call it a night after, yet again, a delicious seafood meal by the ocean at the very cozy The Reef. So far, amazing dinners. I don't think I have any complaints about food in New England, but tomorrow is going to be a very, very, very special one. Why? I'll tell you tomorrow. In the meantime, good morning. Good morning. So, day 2, Rhode Island, officially one of my favorite states. I said it. And today we're gonna go, well, I'll show you, but we're gonna go check out the capital, Providence, because so far we've only been in Newport, and I've only been in Newport. That's the first time I was here, also in Newport. Anyway, okay, I need to wake up. More coffee, and let's get to the road. Providence, here we go. So after exiting Rhode Island, entering Massachusetts, and re-entering Rhode Island again, I finally arrived into the dream city of Providence. I was debating whether or not to come to Providence today or just stay in beautiful Newport, which is beautiful. But then again, look at this. I'm in awe of this town, and I just drove by it. So, yay! One of the oldest cities in New England, Providence was once known for its manufacturing industry, textile being the main one. Though nowadays it is mostly known for its beauty and higher learning institutions, just like the renowned Brown University. Brown University, established in 1764. That is a long time, I'd say. This is the 7th oldest higher learning institution in the country and one of the hardest ones to get accepted into. And of course, just like the rest of the city, it is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, this is really, really hard for me because I don't know what to show you, what to record, because everything is beautiful. Like everything. Okay, minus that car, whatever. But I mean, seriously, look at that, look at everything. Look, there's a church. You see the church? Oh my gosh, everything is gorgeous. Okay, since everything is gorgeous, let's select a few things to focus on, starting with Benefit Street. Known as a mile of history, this street concentrates the most magnificent display of colonial and Victorian architecture, cobblestones and all. All the houses are super well maintained, cobblestones and all, and it truly is like walking back in time. Gotta watch for the cobblestones. Oh, look at this! A little fountain. I wonder if I should make a wish. Well, ain't no Fontana di Trevi. Ma. Why not? Not far from it, we find the Roger Williams National Memorial, named after the city and state founder. And just on the other side of the Woonasquatucket River, there's even more to see, including buildings like the Providence Gas Company, the Performing Arts Center, the state capitol, of course, the station park, fittingly right behind the train station, and the beauty of the Woonasquatucket River, exquisitely framed by the Providence downtown skyline. And by the way, so many churches. You got to love it. One final stop before heading back, and since it was close to lunchtime, the historic Federal Hill home to the Italian community in the area, seemed like the perfect choice indeed.
Gotta go inside for food.
E allora, Federal Hill. This is the Italian part. The Italian part, as I was saying. I have Italian, by the way. I don't know if I ever told you. But, yeah. This is awesome. It's like being... Okay, it's not like being in Italy, but you know what I mean. It's pretty close, I'd say.
Yep, Federal Hill is a true Italian community, and it shows. And so are the restaurants, like the fantastic Costantino's Venda bar, where I had succulent lunch plus a glass of Prosecco, why not? But as great as the lunch was, even better dinner plans were waiting for me back in Newport.
Yes, back here. Why? Because it's beautiful.
Once I made it back, I decided to return to downtown by the pier to walk around and check out its beautiful and many stores. But before heading out to dinner, I had to check out the ocean that gives this state its nickname. So a stroll down the beach was in order. A farewell to the Atlantic Ocean, at least for a while.
Okay, my beautiful followers. This one is a very special one. You know, I like records. I love going to the oldest, the tiniest, the tallest, the whatever. And I tried to go to the oldest restaurant in every single state. Of course, states are big, so sometimes I can't. But Rhode Island is not that big. So yeah, I'm going to the oldest restaurant in the state of Rhode Island. But wait, this is very, very special because it's also the oldest restaurant in the whole US of A.
Established in 1673 and obviously still operating, the White Horse Tavern is the 10th oldest restaurant in the world. And granted that I've been to the oldest one of them all in Madrid, Spain, I could not have been more excited. Now a National Historic Landmark, this 2.5-story building has seen its share of history, having served as a meeting place of the colony's General Assembly, a criminal court, and city council. Now again a restaurant, it serves the most delicious of foods, and boy do I mean that. And while restored, it still keeps many of its original features, and of course, all of its essence.
Thank you, good night.
A perfect wrap for my final night. Time to leave the smallest state of them all. And yes, one of my favorites. But before I hit the road, I had one final stop.
So, cannot leave the ocean state that has so many beautiful houses and mansions without seeing the house of the Queen. So this one is for all my Swifties. This is where Taylor Swift has one of her many, many, many houses. Watch Hill. And look at this. It's gorgeous.
Yes, Watch Hill has become as popular as the Breakers due to all the fans that want to see Taylor's house. So while I would not be showing you the actual house, I felt that my visit wouldn't be complete without checking out at least her neighborhood.
And now, we can leave. See you in the next state. I wonder what that'll be.
But before, a final reflection.
tiniest state. But here's the thing, even though it is the smallest state in the US by far, it has way more tourists than many states that are huge in size, which comes to prove, yes, I'm gonna say it, that size does not matter. It's not the size of the boat. My friends, it's the motion of the ocean.